Pabst never does things by halves. The brand of a champion, the picture you have just seen, is no ordinary movie. It is a story of America's quality beer told as the story of beer has never been told before. It was produced to help Pabst distributors and their salesmen to greater profits. For this purpose, it will be shown to retailers you select. It cannot fail to be a real sales help for you. But this film is only a start. Just a curtain raiser for the new Pabst advertising and merchandising campaign for 1939. The most powerful campaign of its kind ever conceived. Its sole objective is to carry the smartest story ever told about beer to every town and city in America and across the seas to the entire world. But most important of all, this gigantic promotion effort is directed to every consumer in your community. If you will work with it, it will work for you. The Pabst 1939 magazine schedule is the result of months of study and preparation. It is designed to serve you in a dramatic yet dignified manner. It has been conceived through our study of your problems and local conditions. This chart indicates but a few of the thousands of cities to be served by the Pabst magazine advertising program. No matter what the population may be of your city or town, the Pabst campaign, the smartest beer campaign in history, is geared to meet your local requirements. The magazine campaign alone covers 7 out of every 10 homes across the nation. But powerful as it is, the magazine campaign does not stand alone. From ocean to ocean and border to border, our extensive newspaper advertising will do a more forceful selling job for you than ever before. It will blanket 7.5 out of every 10 homes. But even magazines and newspapers are not all. This is the age of outdoors, of America on wheels. And this year, Pabst has the smartest posters in its history for selling outdoor America. In 1939, over 1,250,000,000 passengers will ride on buses and trains. 50 million people will tour the United States in automobiles. Over 20 million people will travel across the country to the New York and San Francisco World's Fairs. Again and again on highways and byways, they will be sold on Pabst Blue Ribbon through thousands of these dynamic, brilliant, powerful outdoor messages. Remember today, tomorrow, and in the days and months to come that this giant promotion effort for Pabst Blue Ribbon beer is your advertising. You and your salesmen are a part of an advertising campaign never before equaled in the history of our industry. It is designed to the tempo of our time. It is placed in the mediums that open wide the doors to greater sales. In a word, Pabst Blue Ribbon advertising will dominate the beer advertising of the entire United States. In planning the campaign, its originators have devised a virile central theme, a direct tie-up between the general campaign and the point of sale display. In taverns, these attention-getting and dynamic dealer helps carry your message of Pabst Blue Ribbon beer, both draft and bottles. Behind this new campaign is the 95 years of Pabst experience, unsurpassed quality and unquestioned prestige. And to help you present this great campaign to your retailers, we are not only advertising to them in their own trade magazines, but we have prepared a strikingly smart and beautiful selling portfolio in full color. Remember, all our efforts can be a complete waste unless you take advantage of every word, every piece of printed matter, Every thought devised for you and brought to you by our various methods. As a Pabst distributor, you share in a Pabst wholesale volume now $35 million per year and going up. How much will you get for your share? Are you ready to cash your opportunity? With you rests the final result in your territory. The best beer, the best advertising will mean nothing if you fail to complete the program by intelligent, consistent, well-planned hard selling. Here is the ladder to beer success. We can supply all the rest, but the top two steps, only you, your salesmen and drivers can supply. Without these top steps, none of us can reach the goal. Are you ready to accept all this? Is your house in order? Now watch closely. What's wrong with this picture? You're right. In the first picture, there wasn't an adequate stock of goods, and even then it wasn't in proper condition. This is the way it should look. Is your stock adequate, and does it look like this? It should. And speaking of stocks, be sure that your display advertising material is kept in an orderly manner in a clean, dry place. See that it is used. Otherwise, Pabst has wasted its investment, and you have failed to capitalize on the sales it will help to make. What about delivery service? Try to catch 4 distributor or salesman mistakes here. You're right again. Those unsightly trucks should look like this. Deliveries should be on time. Drivers should be courteous. How do you and your delivery service stack up with this example? The people in your community not only judge you and us by your product, but by how you present your company to the public. Keep your trucks clean, well painted. Every driver should be neat. And don't forget that a smile often wins more business. Haphazard effort never succeeds. Work must be planned and plans must be worked. Do you have a thorough system? Beer distributors have a great advantage over dealers in other commodities. Licenses make it possible to know exactly who your prospects are. All you need is an up-to-date list of licensees. Such a list is of #1 importance. In keeping up to date a list of licensees, you have your sales possibilities in a nutshell. If your list isn't up to date, it should be made so promptly. If by any chance you can't yourself get the proper list, Pabst will help you. Definite provisions have been made for this service. Classify your licensees as to both type of outlet and importance of outlet. Keep a record of what they carry, of the calls you make on each, as well as a record of the sales you make to each. Perhaps you already have the necessary system and forms to do these things. If not, these Pabst distributor forms are yours for the asking. Routes should be carefully planned so that every prospect in the community will be visited at regular intervals. And whether you be driver or salesman, remember it pays to talk Pabst Blue Ribbon to every one of your prospects. Don't cultivate only 1/2 of your acreage. Sow the seeds of profit over all your land and reap full harvest from 100% of your territory. Know your customers. Remember, you cannot sell if you do not call on them. Do you call on your trade this way?
Good morning, Mr. Peters. Do you remember me? I'm Mr. Terry of the Blue Ribbon Sales Company.
What was the name?
Terry. I was here about a month ago.
Don't let that happen to you. Know your customers as well as this.
Hello, Tom. You look swell. Where have you been, Bermuda?
Hello, Jack. I'm glad to see you. Say, there's something you'll be glad to hear. Come into the office and I'll tell you all about it.
For real success, your business should be a balanced business covering all the Blue Ribbon items. Draft, bottles, cans. Each serves a special purpose. Each presents a separate opportunity for you. And now, Undecker Draft Supreme enlarges your possibilities still further. There is prestige behind every item in the Pabst line. Volume if you do your job well, and profits for all. We know your problems, and we extend the hand of complete cooperation at all times. With this background, you can go out into your field and sell. but you can't go out into the field and sell properly unless you know your book and know it thoroughly. When it comes to Blue Ribbon Draft, there's a heap to be learned by the fellow who wants to sell it right. Pabst does not stop with just providing the best beer. Pabst was first to establish an expert draft service department to advise distributors and dealers on technical problems and show them how to serve beer properly. Those Pabst experts didn't like to see the waste of beer in old-style barrels. Notice the level bottom on this wood barrel with its thick pitch lining. See where the holes come in this old-style tap rod. Here's what the dealer pays for but doesn't get. Pabst steel barrels not only hold full measure but are built so the dealer can get all the beer out. See this concave bottom? See where the top rod comes. And remember that Pabst designed an improved tap rod with holes at the bottom edge to help Pabst dealers get the last drop out. Why, lots of times when a Pabst keg is taken off tap, you can turn it upside down and not get enough beer to wet a spot 3 inches in diameter. Good taverns can build a real beer business around Blue Ribbon Draft. Hotels need it to cater to the taste of travelers. Blue Ribbon Draft increases the dealer's profit. Talking of draft, let's not forget Ondecker. Here's a chance to see how it is sold. Harry Crowley, sales manager of the Blue Ribbon Sales Company, has just gone over to call on the Palace Hotel about it. Said he had a date with Green, the wine steward over there. Let's go along.
Come in.
Hello, George.
Oh, hello, Harry. Come in. How are you feeling? Sit down.
Thanks. I'm feeling fine. You sure look great. George, I came over to tell you something about Ondecker.
Ondecker? Well, I hope it's something good. Who is he?
It's not a he. It's Pabst's new draft beer. And there's quite a story about the name. It's all here in this interesting little pamphlet by Mr. Pabst. George, I don't have to tell you that Blue Ribbon is a swell beer. As fine as can be made. You found that out.
Yes, Harry, I didn't make a mistake putting in Blue Ribbon.
I knew you wouldn't. But, George, some people want something different. Something of an imported character in beers. And they're willing to pay more for it. You see, there are different types of beer, just like there are different kinds of wine. You know that England likes its ale. America's choice is a lager made from a blend of grains. While on the European continent, an all-malt lager is the thing. And there are fine beers in each class. Blue Ribbon is tops in American-type lager. While Ondecker is as fine as they can make 'em in the continental type.
So you're going high hat, eh?
Yes, in a way. Listen, George. Pabst experimented for many years to turn out this draft beer. A beer that would suit those who like the continental taste, but who haven't before been able to get just what they wanted. It's quite a job to make.
Go ahead.
They use different materials and an old-world formula all the way through. It's made in limited quantities for sale only in a few high-grade places. Our instructions from the brewery are to be very careful where we sell it. Select only a few of the best spots where they have the right kind of patronage and where we are sure that the beer will be properly served.
Like this place?
Yes, George. I came over here to talk to you about Ondecker because you have the right kind of a place for it. And because Ondecker will give your bar just the extra touch it needs.
Sounds expensive.
Well, it goes over in a big way. The brewery proved it out first in places like the Ambassador, Stevens, Sherman, and Bismarck hotels in Chicago. It became a favorite in a hurry. It's one smooth, swell-tasting beer. I tell you, George, it makes some of the imported beers taste crude by comparison. Connoisseurs go for it in a big way.
Well, I've got a lot of beers now.
I want only one tap. We can only get a limited quantity of Ondecker from the brewery. And I don't want to put it in at all unless you'll do a few simple things to sell it right.
What things?
Well, let me check the tap you're going to use to be sure it's okay. Put one of these signs on the back door. We'll give you another for the window. I'll say that's pretty classy. What do you say?
Looks good to me.
Buy some Ondecker glasses. I'll help you decide what size and how much to charge for it. List it on your menu. Then instruct your bartenders and waiters to recommend Ondecker to their best customers. Just once. It'll take mighty good care of itself after that. Once you get it in, I think I'd have a pretty hard time getting you to let go of it.
Well, all right, Harry. I'm willing to give it a try.
Thanks, George. That's swell. By the way, I notice your blue ribbon bottle business is coming up. While I'm here, I want to show you the new blue ribbon advertising campaign. It's a dandy.
All that you have just seen is evidence that Pabst is doing everything possible to help you in helping yourself. So use all these selling aids as these salesmen use them. Use the Pabst advertising campaign to help you. Remember, Pabst policy is to give you advertising support locally in direct proportion to the selling job you do on the Pabst Blue Ribbon brand. So concentrate on Pabst Blue Ribbon in bottles, in cans, on draft. Blue Ribbon is the brand that counts in dollars and cents for you. The new greater advertising campaign and our faith that you can do the job and do it right makes us say, help yourself.